Today, I'm going to give you 5 reasons explaining why you should not do a PhD in the US or why a PhD might not be a great option for you. Number 1. Higher selection bar. What I mean by this is, in the US, it is tougher to get into a PhD program than a master's program. For example, if you're looking at a master's program in a certain university, let's say in the subject of chemistry, and it could happen that to get into the master's program, you will require a GRE score of 300, and for the PhD program, the GRE score required might be 310. So this is just one example. Another example could be sometimes for a PhD program, they might ask for a research paper or an additional publication, which is not normally the case if you apply for a master's program. So to be clear, the selection criteria is far more stricter than the criteria for master's program. Number 2, time. A PhD is a long time commitment and it can range anywhere between 4 years to 7 years. And sometimes it can go up to 10 years. Although the average in US is 5 years, nothing is hard bound. And anything can happen. Your advisors can change, your data can get corrupt, or a pandemic can happen. So these all factors can really influence the timeline you graduate from a PhD program. Number 3, academia is extremely competitive. So nobody likes to talk about this, but I'm being honest, and if your goal is to become a professor, you will really have to excel in your domain. And it is tough to get a assistant professorship position for most subjects. And it's a simple equation of demand and supply. There is very less demand and a lot of supply. But I would like to say that if you have faith in yourself, please go for it. It also differs for some subjects. If you are doing a PhD in computer science or economics or management, then yes, you're in a good boat, because as we all know, everything moving towards AI and tech, the students, the new generation, they want to study these subjects like computer science more. And hence, the colleges are opening up new departments and there is a demand for professors in computer science or economics or management. Whereas, if I can share with you my personal experience with my husband, who did his PhD in physics. So physics is a core subject and not many people want to study it. And to be honest, if you do a PhD in physics, that is just not enough. You are expected to do another postdoc, which could be around 1.5 years to 3 years, and sometimes 2 postdocs. And even after that, it is not a guarantee that you will get a position in a university or a college. So I don't want to discourage you, but this is one hard fact. Number 4, painful supervisor. We all know that when you come to do a PhD, your supervisor is like an academic parent to you, meaning if you have a difficult supervisor, life can become extremely hard. I personally know many students who have gone through that, but I would like to say that in the US, there are checks and balances. The supervisor does not have complete autonomy over you. If there is any kind of issue, you can approach the Graduate Students Council or your PhD advisory committee and then switch or change your supervisor. People do it all the time. It is not a taboo. So yeah, but I don't know if it's the same in other countries, because I hear that people complain all the time about their supervisors and they just can't do anything about it. But in the US, you can. Number 5, loneliness. A PhD can be very lonely at times. Although, as I mentioned in my previous video, yes, you have the time to build strong relationships, but 90% of the time you will be working alone. And it can also happen that your friends graduate at different times because, as I said, PhD is not a time-bound program. And then if you're the last person to graduate in your class, things can get very lonely and it can really have an impact on your mental health. So lastly, I would really urge you to think about your mental health before jumping into the PhD program. With this, I come to the end for today's video. Please don't be discouraged. I just wanted to share with you the hard facts that nobody tells you before you jump into a PhD program. I have also made a video on the benefits of doing a PhD, which I'll link it below. If you're watching this, please watch both the videos and then take a well-informed decision. So that's it. Stay tuned for my next video where I'll share more tips and tricks. Thank you.